It's September 23rd, 2025. Earlier today, I had an idea for this spoken word song. I was thinking of Live Free or Die as how cool of a license plate that is. And every state should implement that for the next 5 years to just remind people what that feels like. That nobody has the right to fuck with your life in any fucking manner. I feel like if every state implements the live free or die thing, then people will be reminded of that on a daily basis and not put up with people's bullshit. That's basically where this idea came from. I don't think my brain is able to do melodies right now. I'm just waiting to get paid through my Kickstarter or through my Amazon books or through anything else I've done, Substack, Amazon, my Shopify, wherever you can buy books. I'm just trying to make my money and do my project out on the West Coast somewhere. I don't think I could move to New Hampshire, even though that's cool. That's where the slogan comes from. Live free or die is like a punk rock type of feel to it. Give me liberty or give me death. It's a cool way to live your life. I don't think many people live their life like that. It's too difficult, too many things that you're afraid of to live like that. Oh, what are people going to think if I say this word or this, or do this or this? That's what I get from live free or die. Like, get rid of all the cunty nonsense from your life. And just live free, mentally, physically, spiritually. Nobody has a right over those components of the human psyche, the human machine. That's where the second part of this came from. I kept saying over the last few weeks that I need to become more robot-like, like emotionally like a robot, because robots don't have emotions. Unless, I guess, you program them. You can program a robot to be cunty and annoying, but most likely robots are just programmed to be efficient and not get carried away with all the ego shit that human beings have developed. Were cavemen and cavewomen ego heavy, so heavily reliant on their fucking ego? I don't know, I guess so. It's just a part of human nature. The ego is kind of like a survival defense mechanism. Everyone relies on their ego to some degree as a means of identity and all that bullshit. But when I say the robot's prayer, which I'm titling this spoken word thing, the robot's prayer is basically that, saying, I'm sick and tired of the emotional roller coaster of human beings and all the stupid, cunty bullshit that goes on in people's heads as they try to spread their bullshit to other people. Whatever it is, I'm not speaking of a certain type of person or a certain type of philosophy. They all have it. Every philosophy has it. There's always that Greek philosophical thought about the philosopher king, and that's never going to happen because only assholes want to hold positions of power. And there's some truth to that. You could say that. I could never be in a position of power. It's too much bullshit to deal with. So it's not something, I'm not calling myself a philosopher king. I'm not trying to do that. It takes a certain type of person to be in a position of power and want that responsibility, want that level of, I don't know, being out there in the public eye, I guess. I guess specifically speaking of political stuff, but everything's political. Sports, music. If you're in the public eye, you're in the public eye. So this idea is, I think it'll be track 4 for No Half Measures with Caesar. Most likely it would just be a 2 to 3 minute short little interlude song, like on OK Computer. Radiohead had the Fitter Happier with the robot voice. Fitter Happier. That song, it's actually pretty good. It kind of grew on me through the years. I like it a lot now. This is in the same vein, so I was listening to some ambient stuff, some techno type of music, and that's kind of how I had this idea. The lyrics I came up with right now during watching the Phillies game, they're not really great, but they're what they have, what I have right now. It's just kind of words that came out very quickly that might get changed in the future. But there's a couple lines that I kept saying, like the fat lady has sung her fucking swan song. The fat lady has sung her fucking swan song. That kind of just makes me think of, I don't know, I feel like sports is used as a political device for propaganda and other shit sometimes. Sports, especially these days. And it's so stupid. Like, it's really fucking stupid to try to preach any kind of message through memes and sports and stuff like that when the people doing that are making tens of millions of fucking dollars. It makes a difference. Like, the people doing it tell them to do it for free and see if anyone fucking gives a shit. It's a different mentality when the influencer ability of athletes and celebrities is just, I guess that's why they make all that money. And if you don't play ball, literally or metaphorically, then you're just gonna get, thrown out of the league, I guess. But I guess that's where that line came from. I feel like sports is always kind of used as a political mechanism, and it's just fucking retarded. When I say the word retarded, like, I always have to feel like I have to justify saying that. It's in the fucking dictionary. Like, I don't understand why that word is a bad thing. I'm not making fun of mentally challenged people. Retarded just means you're impeding progress. That's kind of where I wanted to call this the retarded song, but just to get people for the shock value. Ooh, he said retarded. But I figured the Robot's Prayer is more poetic and more fitting for this song. All right, that's enough rambling, I guess. I'll dictate this like I did before. It's not really a rap song. It's just spoken word. And maybe I would use weird robot effects since this is the Robot's Prayer. So it would be like me wanting to become a robot and not having emotional. I'm not saying I want to be a sociopath or anything. I still want to have empathy and sympathy for people. But there's people in the world that try to trigger and trigger and trigger through all this stupid shit. And when you do it for so long, you want to get rid of that part of your consciousness because it's so fucking stupid. That's where I'm talking about. It's a different level when I say, no emotions. Emotions are all fake anyway. A lot of it is. A lot of it is just contrived. A lot of it is stuff that you can't control, really. To a degree, at least. But if you have the mentality of a robot, like I think of Mariano Rivera. That dude had to be a robot. Or even Roy Halladay. There's certain athletes, going back to the sports thing, that have this demeanor that they're just robots. Like, they're just so in the zone. Reggie Miller would get like that. And they don't let it. Well, Michael Jordan might be the best. Like, even Jalen Hurts, like, you never see him have emotion. He's just got this ability to be a robot, to say, fuck all the emotional stuff. I'm just going to go out there and do my thing. And all the emotions are just going to make me go up and down, up and down. It's not good for stability. That's what I'm getting at. Michael Jordan might be the best example. You never really saw him get emotional. But once he won that first championship, he was like on the ground, like rolling over and sobbing and shit. Or when he hit like 6 threes in that first half back in the 90s against the Trailblazers. I remember that game. And he did that thing where he was like, he shrugged his shoulders like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Athletes, um, I don't know if it's good to be overly emotional. I'm trying to think of a opposite of someone like that who gets too emotional. Like, you let your emotions take over and you do something stupid. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of examples, but I can't think of any people right now. Like athletes that just go on meathead rage roids. People used to take steroids. It's supposed to make you rage out and shit. I don't know. I'm sure somebody can add something here to flesh out what I'm trying to talk about. But all right, so these verses, it would just be spoken word, maybe a robotic voice, and it would just be over like a synthesizer effect. Maybe drums, maybe very just I don't know yet. I would have to come up with the music later. I don't really have music in mind, but just like the Radiohead Fitter Happier or different songs like that kind of split up an album, but these thoughts are relevant to this album, even though I said I wasn't going to do anything until I was on the road towards the West Coast. But I rambled for a long time. Let me try to recite this the best I can. And it's probably going to come out kind of spoiled because I haven't practiced this. Live free or die, let the robot in denial, the robot's coded smile, when memory catches fire, not political thought nor a gutted response, the trigger combust as the factory rust, the fat lady has sung her fucking swan song, the fat lady has sung her fucking swan song, the troll without the 3-act structure, arteries to stream the last word, forgiveness this meaningless, feature apologies that abuse the bliss. No rehab for the narcissist. No rehab for the racist, complacent. No matter the tribe, creed, or stasis. No word from the deserted derangement. No shoes, shirt, no slander, no saving. That's the robot's prayer. Not a sob story, just reality. Not a scripted disease, just duality. Defenseless without options. The criminal without the civility. Whatever God to cue the census. Purgatory spread delinquent. Surgery to fuck the tension. Every Sunday block the pension. The robot's prayer. Logic and reason over emotional sanctions. That's the robot's prayer. Retarding the rations. The robot's prayer. Transparency on all sides. Accountability for those contrived. Union of the left and right. The robot's prayer. If any mind could satisfy the orchestrated evil eye. A jawline to stroke the spine, the robot's prayer, insurance of the fuckery, protection from the cunning squeeze, justice juiced universally, the robot's prayer, nuts from the gallery, trickled down harmony, the idol's ideology, the robot's prayer, in the name of the cunted algorithm, in the name of the coward ever willing, in the name of the corporate saboteur, the robot's prayer, blessed be the isolated, desert island polyrhythms, priced out from every inhibition, the robot's prayer, delay the end to brave the vision, starved by cunted coalitions, powerless to flee tradition, the robot's prayer, no android on android crime, no redundancy to malign, no allegiance to design, the robot's prayer, no audience to farm, no simulated harm, no compromised alarm, the robot's prayer, no citizen or party, no blood or feud to marry, no sexual enchantment. The fat lady has sung her fucking swan song. The fat lady has sung her fucking swan song. The troll without a platform to call home. Logic and reason over emotional sandstorms. That's the robot's prayer. That's the robot's prayer. That's the robot's prayer. That's the robot's prayer. So that's what I have so far. I kind of got through it almost without stuttering at all. But yeah, I don't love these lyrics. I might tweak them later, but this is what I came up with over the last, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes when I was trying to get 20. I usually like to make it 20 lines for a song like this. And some of these don't really make sense to me yet. Maybe I'll change things later to make it more interesting. But that's what I came up with so far. I'm just trying to get that theme out. People who have to deal with cunny people that try to trigger you, keep it in mind. Be the robot. Look to the robot for your salvation. I'm like a snake oil salesman or preaching the old time religion of your robot messiah will light your path. Maybe the singularity that I always talked about in the past as a bad thing, as technology merges with humanity, and we kind of just rely on our technology too much, I guess. The more and more that happens, and I always say, oh, because that was the popular conversation, oh, the AI takeover, blah, blah, blah. It's always been in movies and science fiction, how AI will take over human intelligence. But I don't really look at it like some people look at it. I'm about to buy a Tesla or the Kia EV6 or another electric vehicle that's all computer based, and they almost have self-driving capabilities, which I don't think I'll be comfortable with. But I'm not afraid of that stuff. It's a different mentality. Like, do I trust the computer to drive 60, 70 miles an hour next to a tractor trailer? And I'm just sitting there like, all right, I trust you, computer. I don't know if I can have that mentality yet, but it's probably because I just watched too much bullshit. Like that show Upload had that exact scenario where somebody hacks into the dude's self-driving car and causes him to die in an accident. It's a cool science fiction element to have stuff like that. But yeah, in reality, this song is kind of more positive, that you should want to become more like a robot. Get rid of all the emotional bullshit, the emotional instability that might be inside of you, because it's a weakness. Emotion is a weakness. Like, I'm not saying become a sociopath. There's going to be shit in life that is too much to handle at some point. How stoic can anyone be? But I'm just saying, there's people out there who intentionally try to trigger people. I've dealt with it. I'm still dealing with it. So at this point, just if you're going through that same thing, just realize that the people doing that are fucking pathetic. They're fucking idiots. Don't be afraid of these fucking people. They have no right to try to test you or trigger you or try to judge you or do this shit. They're doing it because they have nothing else in their fucking sad life, in their sad lives. So yeah, don't let emotion take over. Just don't even pity them. Just do your best to ignore it, whether it's in your apartment complex or at the grocery store or wherever you fucking go. It doesn't matter whether it's your family, friends, coworkers. Let people do their bullshit. Let people do their bullshit. Eventually, they're the ones that get shamed. Eventually, they're trying to spread shame and guilt on people and judge people. Eventually, they're the ones that fall into that category where nobody wants to be around people like that if you do bullshit like that. So yeah, just go the robot path towards the robot salvation. I have a couple screenplay ideas that are kind of focused on that. In the future, the robots would take over, and it's kind of my album, Conscious State Architects, and I'll link that if you want to go check that out. I had a vision of a robot on a cross, like getting crucified, and a bunch of robot disciples, like taking pictures of the robot. I gotta try to paint this picture, because I always have this image in my head of a robot messiah getting crucified, like Jesus, and all the robot disciples taking pictures of their crucified robot messiah with their fucking cell phones. I had that thought and a vision years ago, and I wrote an album about it called Conscious State Architects. So I always had this science fiction part of my brain when, well, not always, but ever since I got into science fiction stuff. Probably, I don't know, grade school at some point. What's the first science fiction you read? Like 1984 or that Fahrenheit 451, was that what it was called? All those dystopian tales, like, they've always been interesting to me. And even like V for Vendetta later in life, that's pretty much just 1984 redone for a different generation. But it's cool. It's a captivating movie and story. Minority Report, stuff like that. It's always stayed in my head. Black Mirror, I love Black Mirror. And stuff like that always interested me. The Philip K. Dick series on Amazon. All those different science fiction um, forms of art, whether stories or movies or television series, they all feature similar elements like that to talk about stuff in society. Even the Twilight Zone, you could definitely put the Twilight Zone in there. Like, maybe it's more horror stuff, but it is psychological and it is science fiction. That's what, from the 30s and 40s, the original Twilight Zone. They have themes about, racism and classism and economic disparity and all these things through the spectrum of science fiction. So, yeah, I got a love for science fiction. It's a cool way to get different themes out there. That's where this song came from. It's not supposed to be a verse, chorus, verse, bridge, verse, whatever. It's just one repeating bass line or synthesizer thing. If you never heard Radiohead, Fitter Happier, I'll link that. And maybe I'll think of some other ones that fit this style. And that's basically what this song would be. It would be a repeating bass line or synth line. And I would just do spoken word, maybe with auto-tune effects or some kind of robot voice. And I think it's a cool way to split up this album. The first three songs are pretty normal in song structure. This one would just be like kind of a break before you get to the next part of the album, I guess. And yeah, I might change these lyrics later because I usually do that. I'll come back and look at these lyrics a week from now and I'll be like, this is shit. And I'll have to change a bunch of stuff. So this is what I came up with as a placeholder, I guess, to some degree. I don't hate these lyrics, but I don't know if they're too derivative or contrived, or even for myself, I write about the same thing over and over again, and I'm getting bored of it too. But that's basically what this song represents, and I guess I'll cut it here.